Hello, I am Robert Haas Jr., and I'm going to be presenting my Communication Practicum project for the film American Sniper for Rasmussen College. The objectives that we're going to be going over for the elements of communication are listening, culture, perception of self, verbal messages, nonverbal messages, interpersonal relationships. American Sniper was a film made in 2014. The director is Clint Eastwood, and the writers are Jason Hall and Chris Kyle. Chris Kyle was writing a book, and before he passed away, they were able to take his book and turn it into a movie and finish it. And the stars of the movie are Bradley Cooper, who plays Chris Kyle, and Sienna Miller, who plays Taya Kyle, Chris's wife. The first element of communication is listening. According to Soul, effective listening can be summarized by stating that good listeners make an effort to concentrate on the act of listening and to follow the steps of listening process in conversations. Um, Listening can also have been affected by poor habits. Being distracted is one of the habits that Chris goes through a lot in the film. He has post traumatic stress disorder, um, and about 11 to 20 military veterans out of 100 who served in the Iraq War have post traumatic stress disorder in a given year. This YouTube clip is going to show that post traumatic stress disorder does cause Chris to be very distracted at times and does not have effective communication with the speaker. The next element we're going to look at is culture. And according to Soul, the United States is a low context culture. We use simple phrases such as "I give you my word," and that reflects our values. We also have nonverbal messages such as silence, eye contact, and gestures to reinforce our words. The United States is an individualistic culture. We are very competitive, independent, and personal achievements are very valued. American Sniper portrays a very individualistic culture. He wants to be viewed as a leader, and he knows he personally achieved the nickname, the legend, in the film. Um, he also wants the culture to. They always ask each other like how everyone's doing at work and stuff like that. That's also an individualistic culture for people that portray that in the United States. Perception of self is the next element. According to the Module 2 lesson content, self image is a complete picture of yourself, which includes a combination of how you view yourself and evaluate how others see you. Chris Kyle wants to wants himself to be viewed as a leader by himself, his family, and his fellow soldiers. He doesn't want PTSD to be in the way of things and lets others see that it is controlling his life. And when he is back home, um, PTSD is affecting him constantly. And once he goes back into war, he is viewed as the legend. PTSD doesn't kick in because he's actually living in it. The next one is verbal messages. According to the Module 3 lesson content, connotation is a verbal message that can evoke feelings. Connotation is created by the emotional association you have with a word, either positive or negative, and is based on experiences. Chris and Taya had their first encounter at a bar where Taya expressed her negative connotations with soldiers. She didn't want um, Chris talking to her because her sister had dated a soldier before, and it's nothing but the same, she believes, in each soldier. Actually, right before Chris had encountered Taya at the bar, a guy took off his wedding ring, put it in his pocket, and proceeded to talk to Taya. And she told him that I just saw you take your wedding ring off, put it in your pocket. It's really pathetic, and for this, she has negative connotations towards soldiers, which she had a hard time with Chris, but later, Chris is able to show her feelings and stuff that she didn't think she could get from a soldier. Nonverbal messages. According to the Module 3 lesson content, nonverbal communication can be used through signals and used in daily interpersonal communication. The signals could be anything from eye contact, gestures, postures, body movements, and the use of their tone and voice. Um, Chris and Taya use very good nonverbal messages to communicate after seeing the terrorist attack on 9/11. That is going to be shown right here in this next video clip. The next element is interpersonal relationships. And according to the Module 4 of the lesson content, interpersonal relationships are constantly changing. Eternal dialect is used between two people that are in a relationship. And in the movie, Chris, Kyle, and Taya, Kyle show closeness in their relationship by keeping some things private. Chris, obviously, as you can tell so far, has trouble with his PTSD, and he doesn't want Taya to know about it, although she is very certain that he has it and doesn't want to bring it up because she knows how he feels about it. And in this next scene, um, this is going to show how he hopes to open up, and it will show the closeness in the relationship of how he keeps it private, but he deals with it very emotionally. All right. So, in review, we are looking at listening. That is an effort to concentrate with a speaker. Culture is how is like the United States is a low context culture. So that's what we just reviewed. Perception of self is how you view yourself. Verbal messages are used to communicate with feelings. Nonverbal messages are signals that we can use to communicate. And interpersonal relationships are pretty much constantly changing through eternal dialect between two people. Um, Now the evaluation part. What I've learned over the course of these past, uh, say 5 to 6 weeks, um, I've learned through um, communication that I'm able to listen to people better. I instead of listening for just facts or waiting for my turn to argue, I've found that I am able to actually listen to what they have to say, and maybe some of the things that they say can actually have an impact and change my own opinion or give me knowledge based on the facts. Um, I've learned about other um, forms of dealing with conflicts. Um, I've uh, have like seen different ways to of your like, perception of yourself. Um, I've seen that verbal messages are just not through talking. They also can be seen through um, gestures and signals. I think that I'll have a much better job at communicating with people and listening to what they have to say. And I feel that that's the biggest part that I've learned so far in this course. Um, Here are my references. And I want to say thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was very informational. Thank you.